In today's episode, we're going to be talking about setting your 5-year plan and 2 forms of growth that you need to be aware of as you do. What's going on? This is Zaltone, and welcome to another absolutely fantastic episode of the Achieve the Dream series, episode 10. So, as I was saying, we're going to be talking about your 5-year plan, setting up a plan for success. So, you're probably wondering why I say 5-year plan. 5-year plan. 5 years is not so long that you can't actually see that end point. You see that destination. We wouldn't want to go 10, 15, 20 years, right? And for some of us, depending on where we are in life, 5 years could be a major time frame for us, right? But 5 years is not so long that you can't see it. And the second part of that is 5 years is long enough away that you're not going to try to resort to get rich quick schemes and trying to cut corners and find shortcuts in order to get there. Because shortcuts, sometimes they do work for you, but most times they end up either causing you more problems than you originally had to begin with, or they just plain don't work. They end up being a waste of time. So we want to stay away from any of those shortcuts that people throw at us in advertisements and all these things on a regular basis. We want to totally stay away from that and actually truly set up a plan that's going to get you to the place that you want to be. Of course, we want to get there quickly, but that's the reason why we set these plans up. Because if we have a set plan and we follow that plan, the chances of getting there in the time frame that we have set for ourselves is a whole lot more, or you have a whole lot higher chance of actually having success reaching that goal. And of course, a steady effort on a regular basis is going to help you keep having those small wins and keep getting that much closer. Once you have made that solid commitment to getting to those things that we listed last week, and then we give ourselves a solid timeline saying 5 years. In 5 years, we want to be there. Then you can take small steps, daily steps, with a steady effort every single day to continue to move that much closer to that point, that much closer to the mark. The journey has begun, we're on our way there, and we know the steps, and we have made the commitment that we're going to get there one day at a time. So after you've made that commitment, this is what you're going to want to do. Break that thing down to yearly accomplishments and yearly goals. 12 months from today, this is where I need to be 1/5 of the way closer to that ultimate place that I want to be. 1/5. So this year, you're going to concentrate on getting 1/5 of the distance to getting where it is that I want to be. And then, of course, you'll break it down even more than that and look at what you need to do monthly to get to that 1/5 goal, that ultimate goal for this year. And at the end of the year, of course, celebration time when you make it there. And that way you can make monthly commitments to yourself on this is what I need to do. This is what I need to accomplish. Because if I accomplish this month, then go to the next, those small accomplishments, go to the next thing, next month. If you accomplish all that you need to accomplish over the next 12 months, then you will be 1/5 closer to where it is that you want to be. And all of that progress will be evident in the way your lifestyle improves over that time. It's not like, okay, this is where I want to be in 5 years and that's it. I'm going to start now, work to it, and then in 5 years, overnight, something's going to click and I'm going to be there. It's going to take work over a period of time to get you there. And in the process of you working over that period of time, over the 5-year period, in the process of you making those small short-term goals and finding and completing those milestones over that time frame, eventually you are going to start to see that your overall lifestyle, your relationships, all of those 10 things that you wanted to get to this one point, you're going to see them start to grow and get better and get closer to that place. Growth in many, many areas multiplies exponentially. Now, initially, my thought was growth in all areas multiplies exponentially, but that's not necessarily true in all cases. It depends on what you're doing. But your growth, your overall growth in many areas will multiply exponentially. The most important part of this whole thing is that you need to make that commitment to yourself that you're going to put the time in to develop that gift, develop your talents, and continue to move forward toward that place that you want to be. Doing the things that you love the most. You have to make that commitment to yourself. I'm going to spend this amount of time a day. And we all have to be honest. Life happens. There's always something in life that's going to come and interrupt your pattern of practice and your pattern of development and your pattern of growth. There's always going to be something that's going to interfere with that. We all know that it's a part of living and it's a part of life. But when you make that commitment to yourself, what that really means is that as things come up that interrupt your movement in that direction, you're going to take care of those things. Make sure that everything is taken care of. Make sure your family's taken care of. Make sure your finances are taken care of. But you're also going to have in mind and have a plan on how you're going to get back in there, and you're going to keep pressing forward and keep developing. Even in the process of those things interrupting your life and interrupting your direction, you still find ways to continue to move forward. In the process of talking about all of this, I actually brought up two things. There's two types of growth, which I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and one of them is that exponential growth. And then there's another, which I hope I pronounced correctly, which is logarithmic growth. The definition of exponential growth is growth whose rate becomes even more rapid in proportion to the growing total number or size. Logarithmic growth is the inverse of exponential growth and is or can be very slow. And the difference is this in how they apply. I want to make sure that you understand this as well. At some points, depending on what it is that you're doing, you'll have a more logarithmic style change where it just steadily increases over time. And other things, other gifts that you're developing and that kind of thing, they will all of a sudden, there'll be this, they'll start off slow, and all of a sudden your development and growth in that area will spike. And then it may start to level off again. But when it levels off again, after you have that exponential growth, the thing that you have to remember, and this is the most important part about it, there's always room for improvement. Don't become comfortable with your level of mastery of anything. Remember that there is always room for improvement. So even though you're not seeing the change because now your growth is more of a logarithmic style growth, just because you don't see that change doesn't mean that that change isn't happening. And it doesn't mean that the value that you offer by continuing to develop yourself has not grown, because it is growing drastically. You just can't see it because you look at what you're doing every single day. Not only that, but there's also no cap on how much you can bless others with your gifts and your talents. Always remember and never forget, it is not just a dream. It is a destination. Together we're going to get there. And most of all, nothing, absolutely nothing is impossible for you. All I'm doing is giving you small little steps. But nothing is impossible for you if you make the commitment to yourself, you can get there. Have an absolutely fantastic weekend and week. I'll see you on Monday for another Motivational Monday, and Friday for episode 11. Peace.